Let's get right into it. An auditing firm's core function demands absolute precision. And as you probably know, that kind of precision doesn't just happen by accident. It requires a highly structured framework. So, to actually meet these rigorous professional standards, a system of quality control has to contain a few essential elements.
Here's how we're breaking this down today. 1. The firm versus the person. 2. The two standards. 3. 6 elements of the system. 4. Acceptance and continuance. 5. Monitoring the system. And finally, number 6. Engagement quality control review.
Starting off with part 1, the firm versus the person.
Think about it like this. A firm's audit quality absolutely cannot depend on how conscientious an individual partner happens to be. I mean, if quality is just a matter of personal disposition, it's inevitably going to vary depending on whoever is available that busy season. Relying on individual conscientiousness, that is a structure completely guaranteed to collapse under pressure.
So the crucial point we need to take away here is this. The whole purpose of a quality control system is to make quality a property of the firm rather than a property of the person. The regulatory intent here is to institutionalize quality across the entire practice. Why? Because we want to eliminate those individual variances entirely.
Moving right along to part 2, the two standards.
Now, you really have to understand the boundary here, because misunderstanding this is exactly where exam marks are frequently lost. Standard on Quality Control 1 operates at the macro level, the level of the firm. It evaluates what the firm absolutely must have in place across all of its work. We have to separate that clearly from Standard on Auditing 220. That standard deals with quality control for an individual audit engagement. So the first standard asks universal questions of the firm as a whole, while the second dictates exactly what the engagement partner must do on a particular specific audit.
Let's dive into part 3, 6 elements of the system.
The firm's entire quality system actually rests on 6 distinct elements. First, leadership responsibilities for quality within the firm. Second, relevant ethical requirements. Third, acceptance and continuance of client relationships and specific engagements. Fourth, human resources. Fifth, engagement performance. And sixth, monitoring. Pay close attention here, because 2 of these 6 elements carry the bulk of the examination weight, and they require your exact comprehension. Which brings us to our first heavily weighted element in part 4, acceptance and continuance.
Before ever taking on a new client, the firm has to consider a pretty rigorous set of prerequisites. The firm has to evaluate the integrity of the client, and yes, that definitely includes its principal owners and management. But simultaneously, the firm has to look inward. It needs to ask, are we actually competent to perform this engagement? Do we have the capability, the time, and the resources to do it right? And finally, can we fully comply with all relevant ethical requirements?
Now, don't overlook this. The word continuance matters just as much as acceptance. This isn't just a judgment you make once at the start of a relationship and then forget about. Not at all. These judgments are remade repeatedly. If new information comes to light, information that would have caused the firm to decline the engagement right at the outset, well, the firm must then formally consider whether it needs to withdraw.
Part 5, monitoring the system.
Any firm absolutely must have a process for the ongoing consideration and evaluation of its quality system. This is a strict, non-negotiable requirement for continuous evaluation. And importantly, it specifically includes the periodic retrospective inspection of completed audit engagements. You have to actively look back at the work you've already done. When deficiencies are inevitably found during these inspections, they can't just be ignored. They must be evaluated, clearly communicated to those responsible, and strictly followed by remedial action. You see, monitoring is the exact mechanism that converts a static set of written policies sitting on a shelf into a living, breathing system that actually operates.
And finally, Part 6, Engagement Quality Control Review. So, what exactly is an Engagement Quality Control Review? Well, it's an objective evaluation of the significant judgments made by the engagement team and the conclusions they've reached. And here is the absolutely crucial part. It must be carried out by someone who is not part of that specific team. On top of that, this entire review has to take place before the report is ever signed. Keep in mind that the framework governing quality at the firm level undergoes frequent revision, both internationally and in India. Because things change, you must always confirm the current in-force position directly from the Institute's own material before sitting for your examination.
A system exists only where the policies are implemented, monitored, and corrected when monitoring shows that they failed.